Hello, Sam. What do you got there? This boy's got a dozer.
Welcome back, folks. My name is Sam. This is V-Bell & Son. I hauled this particular machine to the auction house a couple weeks ago. It fell into a family situation where somebody passed away and people are arguing over their stuff, so I had to go to the auction. That will judge its value to a T, in a sense. One of my buddies caught wind of this thing. He ended up buying it. I went and picked it up and I brought it back here to the shop so that I can go through it. So we'll see how good this auction score is. It is a 19, I believe, what they said on the auction house, 83 John Deere 550. I think it weighs in the neighborhood of 13, 15,000, something like that. It feels about like a skid steer with a mulch head on there. I'll get this bad boy unloaded, get it pressure washed, and go through a full service. It has brakes, but not very good. Not a strong pedal. You got to push on it pretty hard. So we're going to figure that out, and we're going to take it to the job site that we're going to be working on, as well as the owner of this new machine. So let's get her cleaned up. Well, we'll document a couple deals on it. Single grouser tracks. Not terrible. But I went to hook the chain onto this one. So I'm going to get the impact and try to buzz that down right now. Undercarriage is in, oh, it's pretty good shape. I think 4,000-ish hours. Three-quarter. Nailed it. Not even budging. Glued to it. Jesus. So it's good practice to mark the master link. This one was already marked with red. I went ahead and remarked it, and then all the ones that I had to tighten or need to tighten, I went ahead and marked those with red spray paint. And I got a loose one over here, missing a bolt here, and this master link is actually backed out a little bit. These are press fit. They're a pain in the ass to get in and out unless you got the right tooling. But this one, it needs to be beat back this way and welded in. Who knows how many hours it's been wearing weird on it. You can see in the chain groove back in there. Oh, maybe, yeah, see it's weird. But that's just the deal with it sometimes. So get this unloaded. I'm gonna pressure wash it all off before I try to dig around with too much of that stuff. being welded right there. Real nice. Real nice. Oh shit, I can't get to the damn bolt down there. We need that bloody extension. So when I first went and looked at this, batteries were shot. The thing had been parked for 1.5 years after the recovery mission, and we were all skeptical if the thing did anything. But when we left the machine initially, we took the batteries out of it, recharged them for a week. It actually took a charge, and I believe those are the ones that are still in it. Somebody's worked on this thing. It's got new bolts and washers on it. There we go. It's actually pretty clean in there. It's got a turbo. Oh, it does have a nice turb ski. Whatever that does. Gotta figure it out. So this is the junk that we want to get rid of. Anything that's sitting on top of the manifold like this. Been sitting somewhere and collecting debris. I don't know, this looks like possibly an aftermarket deal right here. So taking the hood off is not as easy. I don't know. I ain't gonna mess around with that. I just need to get to the oil filter, and I don't think we're gonna mess with the fuel filter because it freaking runs too damn good. Fires right up. It's one of these old school, like the old Skidder has this thing, and it's like an old Ford part number or something like that. If I remember correctly, it's been a while since we changed one. But yeah, we can get the blade lowered down. Hopefully I got some gasoline for the pressure washer. She's a little sloppy this way, a little sloppy that way. We've got a couple gallons of crap right there. But hey, Migo. What you up to, dude?
I just came down.
You came down to work with me? Did you see this rig?
Yeah, I saw when I was coming down here.
What is it?
A bulldozer.
Bulldozer, yes sir. Old sucker.
Did you just pick it up to buy it?
Yeah, I picked it up because somebody else bought it and I'm gonna fix it up for him. What did you just eat? Fudge bar?
Huh?
What's all over your face? What's Bandit doing?
Chocolate.
Chocolate. It's all over your shirt and everything. So, looky here, Callahan. Step back, because these things, like I was telling you, those are how to steer it. So you pull both of those and it's essentially the brake. But if you hit the brake pedal, pushes on both of them. But here's why the brakes aren't as strong as they should be. Because they got these adjustment bolts right here. And this one over here completely backed off. Almost fell out. So we just need to tighten those up. Cummins. Almost. Pretty dirty old gal, isn't it? Oh, okay, we need to find some gasoline. Shoot, look at that. Huh. Where that mouse was living. Where's the rest of that water bottle? Let's get that crap out of there. Well, I battled with the belly pan for a good amount of time. It's an interesting design, to say the least. How it goes on there, and then somebody added that little extra doohickey back there that goes all the way. But we got about 45 gallons worth of crap on top. roughly about 6 to 40 inches thick. Yeah. You gotta get that out of there, or else it's gonna start rotting your oil pan and or everything. Pretty much. I mean, it's gonna be soaked with oil back there, but this stuff up here that's not oil soaked, it's just water ridden, it's just gonna start eating through the paint, and then the steel's right after that. So, this is just like a tin can deal back there. It might be factory, I don't know. It looks goofy, but look at that. Get out of there. Good stuff. But we need to get to that anyway. There is a hole right here, but spend a good amount of time getting the belly pan off so we can coordinate and figure out this stuff. Oh man, not bad for 50 years old or whatever. 83, 93, 2003, 2013, 40 something years old. Yeah. All right, this is the pin for, what would you call this thing? The idle pedal? Sounds funny enough, doesn't it? Oh, we can go bigger than that. Let's go with that guy right there. Perfect. Idle pedal right here. Let's see. So hopefully this works out for you guys. I don't know. New camera view. Taylor bought me this thing off of Temu. We'll see. Seems pretty damn shaky on here, to be honest with you. But we get up in here and goes down on the back side of there. So we'll see how this goes. But I'm going to put anti-seize on all the bolts and on that guy right there. Oh. I'm not sure if it's barely in the sight glass or if that's just something that's hung out in there, splashed up on the lens. But picked up a 5-gallon pail of this stuff, throw it in there, see where it gets us. If I can get on up in there. Oh, looking good. Oh my God. Which way do we go about this? I got a lid right on top. Figure it out. You guys like the view back there? Hoping I could see it. Put a little extra in there, let me show you. Couldn't get in there with my big funnel, so I'd use one of these transmission ones. But what I do is I cut 3-4 inches off, and then I tape a zip tie to the side of it, so when it goes down in there, it's not making a seal on the edge, so it's got something to breathe. So that worked perfect for that situation. And I ran it to about 80%, which is fine, as long as you can see it on there. There we go. I'm gonna drive this thing and park it over in front of the shop. I need to have the other side pointed at the door, so I can put some boards down. I need to weld that other side up a little bit. Whew. This man's hot. You are nice and black stuff right there. That'll season your fence posts, I guarantee it. It's definitely a lot nicer to come over here and work on the blacktop with the front quarters of the machine. Yeah, it looks like about 3 gallons. It's hot. I like that. Look at that. Oh! Kicking it old school with the T4. $15.40. Heavy duty diesel. Triple protection, you know. Well, I got the oil changed on the bad boy, put the panels back on it. This was cracked right here and here. I just buzzed in a weld there, and I'm going to build a piece to wrap around that, something like that. And I'm going to do the same for the other side because it is very thin. I don't think it's, man, it might be 1/4 inch. I don't know, it's pretty thin. But for all the pressure being right there on this, man, that's pretty tight. So let me go ahead and make a couple of these. Fire up the little plasma cutter right here. Ding zing. Sure. Better than the black I was going to use. Okay, I need to get to this master link because it's not doing very good. So I'm going to take this track pad off. I already got the nuts off the back side. So these deals are pressed together, and this one is not doing so good, that's for dang sure. I just want to see what this will do. We'll go get the heavy duty one. Be right back. You guys can see the track pad will also hold the link together, but this thing is it's walked a couple of miles out of its shoes, that's for damn sure. But anyway, you press in this master pin right here, the master link, and, well, theoretically it's supposed to stay there. This one did not. The other side, they got it welded as well. But this side broke free. Oh yeah, it's starting to go together a little bit there. I wonder if I got a bigger C-clamp. Where's my big C-clamp at? This one's backwards from what I need. Oh yeah, it's pulling it together. The pin is walked out like 1/4 inch. Not ideal. Well, I broke the ear off of this. I don't want it any tighter. It's like it's sticking out just a little bit more, but then it's hitting over here. Oh, that actually worked. I don't know if you guys saw that, but that actually positive pressure on the master. I don't know how the internal bushings are, you know, at that situation. Huh. At least the pin's out this way. Pin's definitely been rotating in there, but I mean the whole chains on this thing are shot. So my main deal is it's got inch or more of material before catastrophic failure, but my deal, I'm thinking with this particular machine, well, it needs new stuff really, but if we can get it so that this pin just doesn't fall out, because whoever's going to put a new set of tracks on this thing, the pads are good for another round, but the chains are shot. They're just going to cut them. They're not going to try and beat this thing out. But what I'd like to do is possibly put a little bit more pressure on that and try hitting that pin this way just a little bit more. Yeah, right there. Come on, baby. Give me some pressure. That way we can get this pin just a little bit more centered. I think I'm going to weld this side on because that's the side that was fighting me over there. Before I get too ahead of myself, I want to make sure that the pad still fits, because it's, bolt holes line up with bolt holes. That's a bummer, I broke that handle. I'm gonna have to rob a bolt from a different one because, well, we need more than 3. This one only had 3. Where's my little grinder? Fresh battery required. Oh, that's just a lot of weld. Keep that thing centered, doing its job. feel pretty okay with that. Given the situation, I think it'll be okay. It's not going to go out into full production and everything, so should be all right. Find my nuts, clamp this back down, steal a bolt from somewhere else, and grease this thing up. Do need to go along and double check. Those all feel tight. Check the other side, then we'll grease. Brand new tube. Notice something? That one doesn't even have a zerk. That one doesn't even have a zerk. Perfect. bought this material a couple years ago and restored my boat. It was cheaper to buy a whole bunch of it rather than, you know, exactly what we needed. So I've used it on a couple things here and there, and I got a whole bunch left, so might as well put it on this rig. I'm going to leave the structure because it's got a seam right there. I don't want to fire up the sewing machine right now, so. That actually looks damn good. Alright. Okay, I'm gonna worry about working on the lights for this thing and then I'm done. Or at least I got a comfortable chair. Briefly in the shade. These are the lights that came off of my 96 when I got it back. I'll probably never use them for anything, so we're going to throw them on this rig. This one over here actually still worked, so I'm going to save on it and put it on the back of the machine because there's a one on the back and it's pretty shady. So then it don't work. Drop my wrench. There it is. Not the greatest lights in the world, but it's better than nothing, and it's headed hopefully to a job tomorrow. So I mean, the truck and trailer's right there to haul it out. If everything goes to plan, this thing will be moving dirt this weekend. I got a brand new switch. I'm going to zip tie that up out of the way. Whew, hot. So this is an old switch I found out of the collect-all drawer. I'm going to build a bracket for it right quick. I need a nibbler? No, not the needler. I need the nibbler. And we're going to find a piece of scrap and build something. I'm thinking something like this right here. This is just scrap sheet metal from truck I'm building right now. piece of scrap steel is never going to get used for anything around here, so might as well use it for something like this. Now what I'm going to do is drill a hole right there for this to come up through, and it'll be hidden in there out of the way, and right here will give me a spot to put a screw through to go into the roll cage. That's the first job actually using these crimpers. Normally I do the heat shrink solder deals, but they don't have these spade connectors. And that's what we're going to put on this deal. Here's the hammered down light. I decided we're going to cheat just a little bit on my bracket. And we're going to do the hose clamp trick. You can pop the fuse. Yep. That one ain't even hooked up. Alright. Frustrations are getting a little bit high because everything's hooked up, good continuity, but here's the problem. The ground is bad. But how in the hell is the ground bad? And I started thinking about it. Well, this thing's on grommets right here. It's isolated. But how was it working before? And then I started dinking around with it, and I discovered this. It's not even hooked up. So I'm going to hook that up and see if we can get some continuity, some ground. How's that look? Stuff like this, trying to mess with it out in the field. God, that's got to be a pain. I'm kind of frustrated at myself for parking it out here in the sun. I thought I was just going to slam some new lights on it and call it a day. But it's funny too, because the screw is even hooked up. Like there was a screw in the hole and everything. But I mean, it's obviously ground. I think I'm getting close to an hour dinking around with that. Let's see if we got any lights now. Oh, that scared me. Now that I've ran new wire through there. Oh my goodness! Gosh! Alright, well, riddle me that, Chuck. Gosh dang it. Bad ground. It always is the case, isn't it? Ain't it? Okay. Flip a Z switch. Okay. Man, it just goes to show you with old stuff. Like new stuff, you would expect it to be hooked up. But just that one little detail right there, and that looks like it's... Honestly, it's got nice thick yellow paint on it in the black. That thing is not aftermarket. Alright, I'm going to get some zip ties and clean up all my mess. See if I can find some wire loom for some of this junk. Oh, what a... That threw me for a loop, folks, I'll be honest with you. Time for a cold water. I think it's only about 95 degrees outside right now, but in the sun it feels like about 6,000. Direct heat. in. I didn't quite have 20 hours servicing that machine. I thought we did pretty good. Did have a plan of attack right from the beginning when my buddy said he bought the dozer. We were thinking about just taking it straight to the job site, and I thought, you know what, it doesn't have very good working brakes, and that's being generous. The brakes were very, very minimal. Said we're on a steep hillside, you know, old skid roads. At the very least, need to bring it back to the shop and get it cleaned out, get the brakes working, do an oil change, and see if we can find anything else that needs to be addressed before heading out to the job. So that's what we agreed on. Simple things like fix the track pad, the master link on the chain, fix cracks on the loader, on the blade arms and stuff like that, and a thorough clean down, get all the stuff off the manifolds that could catch on fire. And we've been robbed, folks. I didn't take any photos or videos of, or if I did, they got lost, of how squeaky clean it was on the belly pan and on the linkage and everything underneath the seat. She was nice and clean by the time we were done there, so I was happy about that. Got that debris out of there. Adjusted the brakes, and they seem to be working pretty solid for me. The operator of the dozer did state that the lower linkages for the brakes could be tightened up a little bit. Other than that, it's still very functional. Been working a couple of days. They lost one hydraulic line because it got pinched, and it leaking on the cylinders here and there. But the owner and I decided, rather than try and spend a whole bunch of time going through it right now, because it's not going to be used every day full swing, do what we just did to it, take it to the job, and see what happens. See if anything really needs to be addressed, or if it's just going to be leaking out a couple cylinders. So at the end of the day, goes to show you an auction dozer, cheap one at that. I mean, it's a functional machine. The thing's been out there putting in some hours. It's pretty cool. From the initial sight of that machine, I did have an opportunity to buy it before I took it to the auction, but I didn't know if anybody was actually interested in it. So hindsight 2020, one of my buddies could have actually been interested in it, and he could have bought it through us, not even gone through the auction. But you never know until you know. That's just how it goes sometimes. But I'm happy that that thing has made a full turn after been sitting for a year and a half, is what I heard, maybe longer. That sucker fires up great oil pressure. It hasn't been overheating as far as I know. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you bought anything cheap from the auction and how it's worked out for you. It's a gamble, but we'll see you guys later. Curious to read your comments. See you guys on the next one. Later.